In February 1964, a group of mop-top singers made their American debut on The Ed Sullivan Show, and Beatlemania was born. In April of 2021, history struck again as Nigel Farage began his America's Comeback Tour. The Brexit leader joins us now. So, Nigel, welcome to America. Listen, here's what I'm looking at. In the UK, I'm seeing where, former allies of Boris Johnson piling on, this sort of anti-Johnson. Of course, there's an overall sense that maybe this sort of people's revolution, this populist movement that we saw over the last few years around the world, of course, sparked by Brexit and the election of President Trump, could be fading, could be peaking. Is that the case?
No, not one bit. I mean, look, 16, we had the Brexit result, and I think that fed in very directly to Americans going out and voting for Donald Trump, believing that actually the establishment could be beaten. We, nearly 3 years after that vote, we found ourselves without Brexit. The date we were due to leave by British law was just frankly ignored. And many said the populist revolt was over. People didn't know what they voted for. Brexit would never happen. And we launched a grassroots revolt back against the establishment, which I was very proud to leave. And now we have Brexit. We're out. We're free. The deal may not be perfect, but it's a lot better than it was before. And here's the thing. 70% approval rating now for Brexit, 70%. And the rest of Europe is looking at that too. Into the bargain, our Labour Party, which had always been a patriotic left-of-centre party, became a globalist party, opposed to Brexit, wholly unconcerned by open borders and mass legal and illegal immigration. And then the final kicker, the Labour Party became the party of cancel culture, which means that what you do is you eradicate your nation's history and teach your children in schools. They should be ashamed of who they are. And do you know what's happened? I'll tell you what's happened, Charles. Working class Britain in their millions feel alienated by the new socialist internationalist Labour Party. They deserted it, and socialism is now dead on the floor. It won't come back for decades, I promise you. And the reason I came to America to come on this speaking tour is I know that lots of American conservatives have virtually been in mourning for the last 6 months about the situation here. And I've come to say, we look down and out in the spring of 19. We've now achieved some amazing things. And you in the midterms can do the same, because the Democrats are making exactly the same mistakes, moving to the left and alienating many of their own people.
I remember even when this was working up, the Brexit movement, it was cast as a racist movement, as a xenophobic movement. And what I thought was really interesting is, my son goes to a college in London. I spent time over there. When I talked to people, they were like, listen, we're not, you just mentioned it wasn't even about necessarily just illegal immigration. It was the legal immigration under this European thing that allowed cheap labor that was pushing hardworking blue-collar workers out of the workforce. So, this is something that goes on around the world, and I don't think that problem's going to go away. And I do agree. I think this notion of doubling down on the name calling, everything is racist, is a bad move on their part, and I think they're going to drift even further away from the center. But what do you make of where we are right now, particularly in Europe? Because I feel like continental Europe now is running to the warm embrace of China, taking that easy Belt and Road money, and I think they're making a bigger mistake.
Well, look, I'm worried about China. Even Brexit Britain isn't completely free of China because, of course, the influence of China, the influence of that party, the Communist Party, and their money is all too great. You're right. I mean, Italy in particular has turned towards China in many, many ways, hoping that they'll be their savior. But I'll tell you this. The overall European project itself, now they see that Britain's doing well with Brexit, I don't believe that this globalist project will even exist in 10 years' time. I don't believe the Dems will stay in power in America. And I think what you'll see is the election of the Biden administration actually is the short-term blip. The populist movement has got a lot further to run. We're beating globalism. We now have to find out and work out how to beat Chinese communism. And Charles, to me, in the end, it's all about us as consumers. If we stop buying Chinese-made products and are prepared to pay a little bit more for homemade products, we can stop the inexorable rise of China.
Yeah. I say that make the connection to homemade products and American jobs over and over and over again. Same thing in the UK. Make that connection, and people will probably say, I'll pay a few bucks extra so my neighbor has a job and we have security. Nigel, great seeing you, my friend. It's been far too long.
Thank you, Charles.